My soul finds rest in God alone. My soul finds rest in God alone. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him, and He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, I will never be shaken. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, I will never be shaken, never be shaken. My soul finds rest in God alone. My soul finds rest in God alone. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, I will never be shaken. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, I will never be shaken, never be shaken. Never be shaken. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, I will never be shaken. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, I will never be shaken, never be shaken. Never be shaken. Never be shaken. Never be shaken.
Hey Burnett families, and welcome to week 2 of our new series, Brave. We're going to start off with an episode of Grow TV.
Holy guacamole.
Welcome to Grow TV. Introducing your host, Carl. And your co-host, Cassie. Where we learn, where we grow, and we talk about Jesus. Once again, welcome to Grow TV.
I can't believe that. It was just, wow.
Hey, Carl.
Cassie, I'm so glad you're here. I have so much to tell you.
Okay, calm down. What happened?
The most glorious thing. Do you remember what we learned about last week?
David becoming king?
Exactly. Well, I just read the next chapter today, and
Really? What happened?
well, the nation of Israel was at war with the Philistines, and David's older brothers were fighting with the Israelite army.
David wasn't fighting?
Nope. He was still just a kid. He was a shepherd, which meant he took care of sheep. I learned that because I'm a genius.
So what did David do next?
Well, he was told to bring food to his brothers, but when he got there, he saw a giant of a man. This giant's name was Goliath.
That's right, I remember his name. He was a Philistine, right?
Correct, and he was a real bad guy. But the thing is, everyone was afraid to fight him, even the king.
I can imagine. What happened next?
Well, get this. David went into the king and told him, I'll fight the giant.
David? The youngest brother? The shepherd boy? That's crazy.
Right? Well, the king said yes, and David went to get ready, but he was so small that the armor didn't even fit him. But David didn't even need armor, because he knew God would protect him.
Wow, that takes a lot of faith.
Sure does. So David walked out in front of Goliath, and Goliath looked at David and started to laugh. But then David said, you come at me with the sword, but I come at you in the name of the Lord Almighty.
So Goliath had a sword? What did David have?
He had 5 stones and a slingshot. He learned to use his slingshot when he had to protect his sheep from bears and lions.
Oh, I see.
So Goliath was on his way to attack David, but David put that stone in the sling and swung it around just like this, released it, and that stone went right in between Goliath's eyes. David walked over, grabbed Goliath's sword, killed Goliath, and he saved all the Israelites.
Whoa, I can't believe that.
Right? The Israelites won.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking something else was even more incredible.
More incredible than Goliath being defeated?
Actually, yeah.
Like what then?
Well, what was David gifted at?
Well, he knew how to throw rocks with a sling.
That's right, he was really good at that. That was his gift, and God used that.
He also knew how to use his brains in battle.
That's right, David was creative and smart. He used what he did know how to do to figure out something he didn't know how to do.
So God used David's gift to defeat the Philistines and to help others.
You got it. And I think it's important that we find out what our gifts are and use them for God.
That's a good idea.
So, do you have any gifts, Carl?
Gifts? Of course I have gifts.
All right, what are they?
Watch and learn. And voila!
Wow, that was really cool.
Thanks. I know. I'm pretty impressive.
Yeah, sure. So, how do you use those things for God?
What do you mean?
I mean, all of that is great, but if we have talents and gifts and we don't use them for God, what's the point?
I guess I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, we just can't forget that God is the one who gave us those gifts in the first place. So it's our job to use them for God.
Wow, you're right. I guess I just need to remember that God can use my gifts.
You know what? That sounds a lot like our big idea this week.
You're right! That's our big idea! Today's big idea is a big one.
It's that God can use my gifts.
So on the count of 3, we're all going to say the big idea together. 1, 2, 3. God can use my gifts! You did it! Woohoo! That's good. Today's lesson sure was fun.
It sure was, but I'm kind of bummed
Really? Why?
because I never got to show my gift.
Oh, well, it's not too late. What's your gift?
I can disappear.
Well, are you serious?
Yep.
You're telling me you can disappear?
Yeah, you want to see?
Yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see you Cassie? Cassie! This isn't funny! Okay. Well, I guess I'll see you guys next week. I have to go find Cassie.
Hey, Carl.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Grow TV.
Well, this month we're talking about being brave. Last week we learned about how God chose David, the youngest and smallest of his brothers, to be the new king of Israel. God knew who David was, and he knew that he would make a good king. And God knows who you are too, and he knows the special plan that he has for your life. This week, we're talking about how God can use our gifts. Now, I'm not talking about gifts like your newest video game or a Lego set. I'm talking about the ways God has gifted you or made you good at certain things. See, God has given us each a special set of things that we're good at or skilled at. And using those gifts is a part of being brave. We're going to start by learning a little bit more about David. Let's check it out.
Hey everyone! Are you ready for another story? Good! Because I'm ready to tell you one. It's a story about a boy named David who did something really brave. This is David. He's the youngest of 8 brothers. Whoa, that's a lot of brothers. Someday, David will grow up to be the king of Israel. But for now, he's still just a young man. While all of his brothers were away at war against the Philistines, David stayed home to take care of his family's sheep. The Philistines were some of the toughest people out there, with the toughest and biggest warrior, Goliath. Goliath was a giant. He wanted to fight someone from Israel's army, but no one was brave enough. So Goliath teased and insulted them day after day. But when David saw the way Goliath was treating David's people, he said, "Let me fight him." You might think David would get dressed in armor to fight a big giant. But instead, he went out to meet Goliath face to face with nothing but a sling and 5 small stones. Goliath laughed at David and his God. But David said, "God is on my side. Today, everyone will see the power of my God." Then David put a small stone in his sling, swung it around and around, and hit Goliath right between the eyes. Believe it or not, Goliath fell down dead. God didn't need David to be older, stronger, or skilled in battle to defeat Goliath. God just needed David to be himself, because God had already given David all of the special gifts he needed to win. Just like he did for David, God can use your gifts too.
Well, it must have been pretty scary to be David. And you know what? Most of us probably won't have to face a giant. But there are still lots of things that we have to face that we might find scary. And each of us find different things scarier than others. And so today we're gonna have a little bit of fun finding out who in your family thinks what kinds of things are most scary. So I have a list here of things that are kind of scary, and some of them are more scary to other people than others. But what I want you to do is, as I read them, I want each person in your family to wave their hands if they think it's really scary, or I want them to go like this if they think it's just kind of scary, and I want you to freeze if you think it's not scary at all. So here's the list. The first one is scary movies. Do you think scary movies are really scary, kind of scary, or not scary at all? All right, here's the next one. Animals with big, sharp teeth. What about going to a new school? What about parachuting? What about public speaking? What about telling somebody about Jesus? What about scuba diving, going way deep into the ocean? What about praying in front of somebody else? What about swimming with sharks? What about hanging out with new friends, with people that you just met? What about spiders? Some people think spiders are really scary. What about telling someone what they're doing is wrong? What about standing up to a bully? And here's the last one. What about walking alone in the dark? Who thinks that's scary? Well, you know, David, he often used his slingshot to scare off animals who were threatening his sheep. And so that was a skill that he had. That was a gift that he had been given. But it still took bravery for David to allow God to use his gifts to fight Goliath. And you know what? We can be brave when we face obstacles too. God is always with us. And because God is our creator, He knows us and He can help us to use the gifts that He has given us, as well as the gifts of other people who are around us, to help us face the obstacles in our lives. And no obstacle is too big for God.
I stand before you now, the greatness of your renown. I've heard of the majesty and wonder of you, King of heaven. In humility I bow as your love way back.
All right, it's time to get out your Bible if you don't have it out already. If you don't have it with you, you can pause this video and run and go get your Bible and then come on back and hit play. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to be racing to see if we can find a certain Bible passage in 30 seconds or less. All right, so the Bible passage that we're looking for is 1 Peter 4:10. Ready, set, and go! All right, so here it is in my Bible, 1 Peter 4:10. So we're going to read it together. It says, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." Let's read it one more time. Each of you should use whatever gifts you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. I want you to look at the following list of skills now. Have each person in your family choose one that they're good at. Then take turns sharing how being good at that particular thing could bless someone else. You can do it a few times if you have time. Well, I hope that this week you find ways to be brave by using your gifts, whether it's to overcome an obstacle in your own life or in the life of somebody that you know. God can use your gifts. We're going to finish by working on our memory verse, and then we're going to sing one last song. I can't wait to see you guys next week, and I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.
So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41:10. Isaiah 41:10. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41.